John Harwood. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. We got Brian John Harwood all the way from Muskoka, Central Ontario, Canada. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. The sun's out. The summer's my time. So I'm just loving it right now that things are opening up here in Canada. Time to get back to normal.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels like I've been here before. You know, things are looking a little familiar. But I'm excited for the Canadian people. Things are starting to open up, and this is an exciting time to be a musician. If you can, I'd love for you to tell our audience a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your musical influences.
Yeah, my name's Brian John Harwood. Grew up just north of Toronto, probably an hour north of Toronto, Barrie, Muskoka area. And I just, from a young age, taking the trips with the family back and forth to Florida, Daytona Beach. I remember just hours and hours of country music as a kid. In Alabama, Randy Travis, Alan Jackson. And it just kind of embedded itself into me over the years. You know, one thing led to another. I picked up a guitar and taught myself how to play and write, and just fell in love with country music and music in general.
Well, you got a great story. For everybody who is on social media, please, go follow Brian John Harwood. But not only that, you've been a extremely busy man. Just looking at your previous stories and your content, I almost think that COVID really brought people opportunity, and you took advantage of this. I mean, it looked like you got engaged. How many songs did you end up writing?
Man, writing, that's a whole different story. I got if people don't know, I'm also from a band called Kansas Stone. And in my office here, I have a list of Kansas Stone songs that I wrote or have been recorded or that are going to be released. And my solo stuff, I have 21 songs that on here that I've wrote, and half of them I've been recording and just trying to figure out when to release them and stuff. So I've just turned positive from a negative. And when COVID hit, I just kind of jumped on something that would keep me occupied. I had all this free time, and what are you going to do but write and record and just, try to stay busy because if I just sat there and ate, that wouldn't help me at all. So I just played as much as I could, wrote as much as I could, and that's how you get the songs.
Yeah, well, your content, obviously, just having that time, it was well worth it. And how I was introduced was you had a song called Good Boy. And I don't really like to talk about myself too much on these. Personally, I had a dog, a chocolate lab. She was 15 and a half. Her name was Finny or Finola to some, but she had spent every moment with me, and all of a sudden there's this promo ad of your song Good Boy on Instagram, and it was around March, so about really her life coming close to an end, unfortunately. But I love that song so much. The lyrics are so, in a way simple, but I could relate to every second. I checked out the video, so I wanted to thank you again for doing that. But how did your dog, Lincoln, if you can, tell me a little bit about him.
Well, he's my best friend, man. And as you know, dogs are, and that's what I wanted to portray in the song. I just, I've lost some, family pets and best friends before, and it's a tough thing, man, because they're not here for long, and they really leave a big impact on your life, and I wanted to kind of capture that. And as I wrote the song, Lincoln's alive and well, but in the video I have him, and I just kind of wrote the song like going into the future, that's going to happen, and I just wanted to get it across that even though he's not here, he's still always going to be my good boy, I love him to death. I rescued him 2 years ago. I was looking online, and then I saw at an adoption place here where I'm from called Finding Them Homes. They found 8 3-day-old puppies in the snow on the side of the highway. Don't ask me who does that type of thing, but I wanted to rescue one right away. And after the screening and them coming and checking out the place and seeing it was a good home, I was blessed with having him, and I love him to death.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up, because we talked a little bit before this, the name Lincoln. If you can, please tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm a big Sylvester Stallone fan. I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan, and so right away, I was talking to the wife, and I'm just like, how about Rocky? She's like, no. She's like, everybody names their cats or their dogs Rocky. And I'm like, how about Rambo? And she's like, no, it sounds too... And I thought about it, and one of my favorite movies from Stallone is Over the Top, and his name's Lincoln in that. And as soon as I told her, I said Lincoln, she's like, I really like that. So... as you can see, I'm wearing the hat from the video, and it's from the movie if you haven't seen it, Over the Top. Because in my music videos, I like to put little Easter eggs and little things inside the video. So
it's so cool. I mean, and one also, you got your wife now to watch a lot of Sylvester Stallone movies, and you got Rambo. So you're showing her a good time.
That's how I knew she was the one. She sat down and watched all the Rockies and Rambos with me, and when I seen that she cried in every Rocky movie, I knew she was the one.
Yeah, well, hopefully she was starting to do the impressions too, the Hey Adrian call.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. I mean, and I wanted to bring you on too because, man, I mean, I know you're from, the Central Ontario area, or that's where you live now. But it's so north of Toronto. But your music, I feel like I have to be on the beach. And so you have that song that came out in the beginning of the year called Getaway, and I felt like I needed to be on a boat.
Yeah, the weird thing about that song is I'm a traveler, and although I live in Canada, and it's the nicest country in the world for about 3 months, I'm a traveler and I like to be on the beach. So the fact that we couldn't travel at that time, I kind of wanted to write Getaway is more of a staycation kind of song. And it's about, looking on the positive end. It's up to you. You can turn your own house into the vacation of your lifetime. Having a bad day, you can. And if you watch the video, it's like my wife's in that one, and it's kind of funny. Like she has a rough day, and I turn the whole apartment into kind of like a Mexican vacation. So
like a staycation.
Yeah, like pina coladas. The whole works, So I love the summer, man. And the thing about country music is it's real, and you got to tell your own story and not fake it. And that's when you know. And it's summertime and sunshine and the beach. That's what I know. I love it. So most of the time, that's what I write about.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I'm hoping that others, especially my audience, they will too. So, Brian, I appreciate you sharing. I have to pull over. We have to get into the lightning round. So, all right, let's pull a bad boy over, this white lightning, and let's get into it. Before I start, we have a new website called bandwagontv.com, and we're promoting a local barbecue restaurant called Young's Barbecue and More. Have you had brisket? I mean, from Texas, are you a barbecue fan?
I'm a huge barbecue fan, and you know what? When I make it out there, I'm going to take you up on that for sure.
Oh, no, you definitely will, my friend. You come out to the hill country, and we're taking you out there. A fantastic story. I mean, almost redemption. They had their restaurant burned down in March from a kitchen fire, and they're in a new restaurant now. And so it's a fantastic story about a family who's very resilient. So anyways, check out their story, but check out our website. We have past guest videos and podcasts and more. So, all right. And I wanted to ask you, Brian, do you have a local business that you want to plug with us today?
There's a brewery here, actually, that I love. Amazing food, amazing beer. You can buy their beer all over in stores and, even in Vegas and stuff like that, but they're local. And, not only have they been there for me since day one with my music, and you can see in some of the earlier Kansas Stone videos, all the beers they supplied, helped us fund some stuff. And, they're also just the most, supportive and loving for the community, just donating time and money into local charities and stuff. They just good people running a great business.
Well, that's great. We're going to plug them, their website, their social media. I think this is just a great thing. Local small businesses took a huge hit. And so if there's anything that we can do, and I know that they're so, like you said, they love musicians and music, and I'm glad that you have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, they're great. Red Line Brewery.
There you go. Cool. All right, we will. All right, Brian, here we go. Lightning round. We're getting into it. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this. Okay, I'm starting off. This is a tough one for you all who love a good time. But I have to ask you, Brian, the lake or the beach?
You would think I would say the lake because up in Canada, and I do like to fish and I like to hang out, but I'm going beach 100%. Throw me on a white sandy beach in Florida or Mexico or pretty much anywhere. I'm a beach guy. Palm trees, man. I must have been around palm trees in the past because it's my happy place, man. So
I love it.
I'm going with beach. beach.
There you go. I mean, Canadians and everybody from really the north, they love a good cottage, right? And the lake. But I could just tell that you are a beach guy. You're chilling on the beach. But I feel like that was almost too easy. So I'm gonna ask you this: you have to pick the Keys or Mexico, and I don't know if you can compare them to because it's so hard. But can you? Can you decide on one?
That's funny because right before COVID, those were I think the last two places I traveled.
Wow.
And I love both of them for different reasons. That's hard. I'm gonna say Mexico because I don't want to put down the Keys or Florida because I love it. I have family out in Florida. Mexico. I just went surfing and I just did so much there and rock climbing, zip lining, and racing dune buggies in the desert. It sits with me as a fun place. So yeah.
Well, good. I mean, you really, honestly though, you can't go wrong. I was gonna go country. I kind of asked you a country question before about two musicians, very familiar, Kenny Chesney and Jimmy Buffett. But I'm gonna go this way: Motley Crue or Van Halen.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Because, I love all music, and I grew up on rock, country, everything. And honest to God, I've seen Motley Crue 9 times.
Really?
9 times, yeah.
Wow.
But I'm going to... man, that's hard.
I had to ask you. I knew this was going to be a little harder. You told me about Tommy Lee. You've told me a little bit about Sammy.
Yeah, is it like... is it pre Eddie Van Halen's passing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
So if it's pre, then
okay.
I would take the Van Halen. I'll take the easy card out.
Yeah.
If it's Halen with Hagar, you got me.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next one though. Just a little segue here.
Okay.
Side note. So, Sammy or David Lee Roth?
Nothing against David Lee Roth and the fans out there. He was entertaining. He was great. I've seen him live before, and I support him and stuff. But for me, Sammy Hagar, the voice, the songs, everything was just that notch better. And definitely a Sammy Halen fan.
Oh, well, we all appreciate that. I mean, again, you can't go wrong. Two different personalities, but you know what? They share one thing, and that is great music.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good question.
Rum or whiskey?
I'd have to say whiskey. But before I finish that answer, that's if I'm taking shots or anything. I'm the type of guy, if it's cold, I'll drink it. Doesn't really matter, but it has to be cold.
Sure. I mean, I was also going to ask you, whether you wanted Bloody Mary or a Caesar, which I'm not sure if a lot of American audience would know what the Caesar is, but they're somewhat similar. And on a hot day, you can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah, I just had one. I had one yesterday, and then what I seem to do is I put the rimmer on the glass, like you're making a Caesar or Bloody Mary, and then ice cubes in. Then I fill it 80% beer and 20% of the tomato juice or the clamato, and then makes it great. I think it's called red eye.
Yeah, the Mexicans are very known for these. And if you're not familiar with the clamato, it's with clam juice, but so delicious and great in the mornings.
Yeah. Cures the hangover pretty well.
I've also noticed this, you're a man of style. So I have to ask, Ford Mustang or Ford F-150?
Ooh, I got one of each.
I know, I noticed.
But I'll go the Mustang, man. I have to. She's my best thing I did was quit smoking and buy her because it's funny. I was paying more for smoking than I did for the car. So anytime it feels like I need a cigarette, I just look in the garage and it's like well worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And now you're paying, instead of that money for cigarettes, you're paying for insurance.
Yeah.
All right, last two, you're doing great, but we have to ask, while we're on this road trip, we also need another co-pilot. Who do you need for a co-pilot on a long road trip? Musician, dead or alive?
That's a good one. You know what? I was going to say Carrie Underwood just for us, because she's gorgeous, but if it's a guy's trip, we're going to throw Sammy Hagar in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'd have the tequila, the rum, and some good music, and we'd be hearing stories about the Van Halen days, and he'd probably take us to his place in Mexico, and we just continue to party.
That's what I was gonna say. We're heading to Tijuana. We're heading to Rosarito. That's where we are going. So we're talking trouble. Okay, last one. We need to obviously keep ourselves occupied. We need something entertaining on your phone and your playlist. Is there something embarrassing or something that maybe we wouldn't find or that we would find intriguing on that playlist? Musician or song?
Dude. I'm like, if you're looking at my, if you're talking music and my collection of music, as a songwriter, I learned from an early age, don't just stick to one thing. It helps you be diverse and write original. So that's why in my music you can pinpoint rock and you can pinpoint, just a different stuff. Like I listen to everything from Aerosmith to Pantera to Justin Bieber to like you name it. I think it was Tommy Lee who once said there's two types of music, good music and bad music, and it's up to the listener. So,
I love that quote. I might steal that.
I think with a car full of those guys, there'd be a lot of skip button going on.
Yeah.
But I think we could all agree on some 80s rock or something like that to get us through.
I think you're right. Well, hey, Brian, you did great. Thank you very much for sharing. But this part is on you. You got a lot going on. Obviously, you've already had a lot, but you just said you wrote 7 songs, from this and this last year and this year. But what do you have coming up? I know you have some exciting things. If you don't mind sharing that with all of us.
Yeah, I'm excited for, I'm planning out my next year. I'm into next summer with singles that I've, recorded. I have about 9 that are recorded now that I'm just trying to place in order, or decide if I want to just throw it on one big album and release it. I know first things first is I got a new song called Make You Mine coming out June 25th. So that's the next one up. And it's featuring a good buddy. He's from a band called the Roadhammers, Clayton Bellamy. It's definitely a summer song that's going to be fun. But other than that, for this summer, we got a Kansas Stone song coming out in August. Some more new music coming out in the fall. We got a big plan, and we're just pushing forward, not dragging the legs, just releasing.
We appreciate you being on and sharing everything with us, and you've had some great stories, and you had Lincoln right by your side, so I can't ask for much. But unfortunately, we got to kick you out. But all we ask is for a song, Brian. Can you play us a song?
Play You Good Boy, and I'll dedicate it out to your dog. And I know before we started chatting, you told me a little bit, and I really appreciate you finding this song and getting a hold of me. And it's nice when I can touch someone, or at least the message makes them think good thoughts of their dog or their loved one. And I'm glad I could do that with you. So. Well,
Brian, yeah, you did. It was a tough time, and I'm sure people, it's not just me that have experienced something like that, and it was tough. She was with my family and me for 15 and a half years, so I appreciate you dedicating that to her. Thanks again, Brian. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Come on, Lincoln. You take over that king-size bed, like to tear things up just to make a mess, don't you? And anyone who knows you, like to get dirty but hate to wash up. Do just about anything for a belly rub, won't you? Oh, but no matter what, you're still my good boy. You're still my best friend. You're still my shotgun rider right beside me, head in the wind. Yeah, I wish I could hear what you're thinking. You can't say the words, but buddy, I'm listening. Just know that I'll never stay mad. You're still my good boy. Now we got a baby that ain't on all fours. If we don't feed you first, you won't go. Ignore the patience ain't exactly your favorite. Time flew by, you're looking all grown up, but when I look in your eyes, I still see a pup who wants to be played with. Oh, and no matter what, you're still my good best friend. You're still my shotgun rider right beside me, head in the wind. Yeah, I wish I could hear what you're thinking. You can't say the words, but buddy, I'm listening. Just know that even though I'm a dad, you're still my good boy. It seems so unfair, but I knew this day would come. I'm scared to say goodbye, but I know that you'll never really be gone. Part of me's up there, and part of you never left. Oh, I'll never forget. You're still my good boy. You're still my best friend. You're still my shotgun rider right beside me, with me till the end. Yeah, I know that you're running free in heaven. I hope the good Lord knows just who he's getting. Always know that I might be sad, you're still my good boy. You're still my good boy.
That is Brian John Harwood. That is Good Boy. Thank you so much, Brian, for your time, your songs, for Lincoln. Again, we appreciate it here at Bandwagon TV Joyride.
I thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'll give you a ring when I come through the Texas way.
I appreciate it, and I'll do the same when I'm up in the Great White North. And I know right now you're staying warm, but those winters, they're not easy.
I don't need any reason to get out of here then. So
Yeah, if you do, you better bring some Tim Hortons. I need some.
I'll bring some Caesars, some ketchup chips, some poutine. I'll bring a big Canadian package for you.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you might take a picture, love, 'cause this could be our lucky day. Oh yeah, you might take a picture, love, 'cause this could be our lucky day.